Did you know there are 9 states in the US where you don't pay any state income tax? That's right. $0 taken from your paycheck at the state level. Sounds like a dream, right? But here's the twist. Some of these tax-free states make up for it in the sneakiest ways. Let's break down the real cost of living where income tax doesn't exist. At first glance, moving to a state with no income tax feels like unlocking cheat codes to adult life. Florida, Texas, Nevada, just sunshine, barbecue, and more money in your pocket. Sounds perfect. But if it's that good, why doesn't every state do it? Well, the truth is, states still need to make money somehow. Roads, schools, emergency services, they don't just fund themselves. So how do these states pull it off without dipping into your paycheck? The answer is way more surprising than you'd think. Let's start with the big 9. Florida, Texas, Nevada, Washington, Alaska, South Dakota, Wyoming, Tennessee, and New Hampshire. All of them say no thanks to income tax. But don't get too excited yet. Each one has its own catch. Take Texas, for example. You don't pay state income tax, but property taxes? Through the roof. Texas has some of the highest property taxes in the country. So if you own a home, that tax break can vanish real fast. Washington State. No income tax, but they recently introduced a capital gains tax. So if you're making big moves in the stock market, Uncle Washington wants a cut. Tennessee only recently phased out its income tax on interest and dividends. But guess what? It has one of the highest overall sales taxes in the nation. Alaska is probably the closest thing to a true tax haven in America. No income tax and no sales tax at the state level. But before you pack your bags for the tundra, remember, it's remote, expensive, and those long winters? Brutal. So, why do these states go tax-free? It usually comes down to one word: attraction. States like Florida and Nevada rely heavily on tourism. By keeping income taxes low, or zero, they attract more residents, retirees, and investors. That boosts property markets, tourism revenue, and business growth. It's a strategy. South Dakota and Wyoming? They make a ton from things like natural resources, oil, minerals, and yes, even cattle. They don't need to tax income because their economies are built on other money-making engines. It's a trade-off. No income tax doesn't mean no taxes, it just means the type of tax changes. And, depending on your lifestyle, it might actually cost you more. So, here's where it gets interesting. People are moving. In the past few years, millions of Americans have left high-tax states like California and New York for places like Texas and Florida. And yeah, the lower taxes are a big reason. But what happens when too many people flood into these tax-free havens? Prices go up. Infrastructure gets stretched. And suddenly, those low-tax benefits start to disappear under high costs of living, crowded cities, and you guessed it, new taxes. Some experts predict that as population shifts continue, even the tax-free states may have to rethink their approach, especially if their economies can't keep up with the demand for services. The system works until it doesn't. New Hampshire, one of the no-income tax states, it funds its schools through local property taxes, and not all towns are created equal. So depending on which street you live on, your tax bill could be wildly different from your neighbors, even if your houses look the same. And Alaska? They don't just skip income tax. They actually pay residents every year through the permanent fund dividend. It's like the state gives you a yearly thanks for living here bonus funded by oil revenue. Wild, right? So, would you live in a state with no income tax? Or is the trade-off just too much? If you found this breakdown interesting, hit that subscribe button for more surprising facts about the USA, right here on USA Revealed.